Hey, what's up YouTube? So Ontario Knife Company was sold and their factory closed, so I took a look at what was out there to see if I needed any Ontarios before they become no longer available. I ended up picking up this. This is a SP-12 Tanto. Now this did not come with a sheath. I'm just using an old sheath that I had just to cover the blade. Alright, so this didn't come with a sheath for some reason, but pretty wicked, pretty pointed. I would say the purpose of this is, oh, there's a mosquito on the microphone. Sorry about the background noise, real world conditions. I would say the purpose of this is to deactivate bad guys, insurgents, or whatever you want to call them, enemy soldiers, orcs, goblins. It's got a rubberized handle with a lanyard hole, has a guard. It's got a powder coat. Wicked tip. I beat mine up a little bit already. The steel on this is 1095 high carbon steel. And this thing is all business. Basically, if you need a knife with some extreme piercing power, you might consider this. So yeah, I think this is meant as a nasty combat knife. You know, kind of the same idea as a dagger, right? Piercing. But on the off chance you want to use it for some fieldcraft, I can cut a few things with it. Alright, got some paracord. Might want to sharpen this up. So yeah, when you're not fighting for your life with this, maybe you need to modify some gear, cut some straps, or like, you know, rescue type work. So there it is doing that. Alright, let me go find a piece of wood that's not too damp. Okay, here we go with some notching. I hope you're all doing well these days in these unprecedented times. I like getting out here in the beauty of nature. Despite the mosquitoes, you got to be kind of covered up if you go out here. Okay, that's why I got these long sleeves. They'll try to get in there too. Alright. So this ain't the best bushcraft knife for sure, but whatever. You can make notches with this. Alright, surely this thing could be used for some light splitting tasks. Alright. It takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Right, so light splitting. It does excellent at the light splitting. For light splitting, little birch, it's alright. Alright, so after you've thinned out some pieces of wood, you can carve them, right, for whatever you might need. Okay, I don't know if you need a skewer or a spike or something of that nature. But yeah, you can thin out a piece of wood like so with this. That sub tip is also useful just for like a utility knife, right? You have to open a container or something of that nature. Alright, so once you got a thinned out piece of wood, you can go ahead and, you know, speaking of soldierly fieldcraft, you know, you can carve little pieces of wood into whatever you need. Like, perhaps you just need a skewer. You know what I'm saying? You just need like a skewer. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're roasting hot dogs and marshmallows during the apocalypse, during World War III. Alright, so you can carve yourself a little skewer with this knife. Alright, it's a field knife. Alright, now keep in mind, what I think this is really made for is some very bad situations. Okay? Basically, this thing has extreme piercing power, right? So if this is the bad guy, you know, I know a couple people that basically got into hand-to-hand combat. One of them was in Iraq. He was in the Marines. And from what I've been told, when you're in combat like that, it's not like you're standing off and striking from far away. From what I've been told, the knives were used when you were literally wrestling around with the enemy. Okay, wrestling around, like in a clinch, in a grapple, right? So if I'm grappling with the enemy, this is going to be going around their back where they can't see and searching for the kidney or the spine. Or I'm just going to shove them down and try to get the windpipe, the esophagus, the neck. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be used in like a mounted position with grappling, right? So that's the enemy right there, right? And I mean, it's brutal, okay? If you don't want to understand that reality, I mean, look, I have to review it as what it is. It's meant for military people. It's a fighting, killing knife. You know, regarding knife combat, first of all, I'm Filipino. I do FMA, Filipino Martial Arts. But regarding knife combat, you know, Cold Steel came out with a video a long time ago. I believe it was called like long-range knife fighting, right? And the reason they call it long-range knife fighting is because there ain't no fucking short-range knife fighting. At short range, well, there is combat that occurs, but it's like quick draw. If you're at bad breath distance and you both have knives, there ain't no fight, bro. It's just a race. I would call it a race. You're in a race to get the tip or the edge of this to a vital area before the other guy does the same thing to you. Okay, so there's not a lot of maneuvering at that distance, okay? Like, a lot of the techniques of knife combat are designed to prevent someone from getting that close to you, right? So Cold Steel had a instructional series called Long Range Knife Fighting. It was about footwork and, you know, how to strike with the knife from a set distance. It was basically knife boxing, okay? But in regard to like how these are used in a military setting, they're mostly used in a grapple. And like I said, it's a race. If you're in a clinch with someone or you're rolling around on the ground in a grapple, it's a race. Who can get the tip or the edge to a critical part first? So yeah, it's not really like there's knife fighting, like knife boxing at this range, and then there's like a grapple with a knife where you're snaking this around and getting his kidney. I hope you never have to do that, but hey, if we're going to bring up the idea of a fighting knife, well, let's talk about how those fights occur a little bit. Alright, so that was just like a little mini review of this. I just wanted to show you this, you know, while supplies last, because Ontario has been sold, their factory was closed, so if you want one of these, you know, search around, and if they're all gone, you might find one on eBay one day. But I'd say that for its purpose, which is essentially to save your life if you're a soldier out there in hand-to-hand combat, it's pretty fearsome as far as its piercing power. As a field knife, it's not that good as a field knife, but you could make do, right? Especially if you put like a custom edge on it, it would be a lot better for the whittling and so forth. But piercing, some light splitting, a little very light chopping, notching, things like that. Yeah, I mean, you could use this as a field knife during those times that you're not defending yourself with it. You know, people always give me grief for reviewing items like this that scare people. They think like, if you show this, oh no, knives are gonna get banned. Look, bro, I have viewers that are literally in countries that are at war right now. So it's just a little more important for me to show stuff like this for people who literally might need it. Like I've got people that are viewers that are in countries that have been in civil war, that have been invaded, that are having riots right now. So I don't know what to tell you. The people that want to ban knives, it's not because you made a video. They just want to ban knives as a political football. And it, you know, so yeah, I'm going to tell the truth about knives like this. A lot of times people will give me grief for reviewing items like this which look scary, and they always say that it's going to scare other people or those people. Nah, man, if you're making that comment, it's because it scared you, but you don't want to admit it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this quick and dirty review of this Ontario. Hopefully it becomes a collector's item one day. I'll put links under the video for your convenience. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.